Hey guys, Rick Worth back here again with another little bit of lessons. I'm going to keep these short. I think it's kind of cool. Still takes like an hour or so for like 5 minutes. But that's what you got to go. That's what you do. That's what you have. Live with it. All right. Well, anyways, I'm talking now about, for people that are new here, we want to know why is it what the letter, what does it mean, the letter, and what is the spirit? What are they talking about? Well, this is from Second Corinthians, and we get the Apostle Paul telling us about how to read how to minister the New Testament, and he comes that out and he says, not by the letter, but by the Spirit, for the letter kills, and the Spirit bringeth life. So, damn. So what you're supposed to get out of this is that, oh well, there's a physical side of this Bible, which is what we see. That's what it means of the letter. And so what we see, we read this, and most of us take it very literally. That we're liberal. We take this word for word, just like it says, you know. And so you understand that side kills. But do you understand what that means? Because when you're following religion, you got to drink from her wine. You got to drink from her wine instead of what's considered spirit. Wine is spirit. So that's the difference. If you read the word wine, so you're just drinking some wine. You're taking some wine at church. You're having a little bit of Jesus' blood. It's taking on his spirit. It's an outside thing. So the spiritual side is what you can't see. So it's an inside thing. So you would say that the letter is an outside, the spirit is an inside thing. So the inside is something you can't see, and it's nothing you can drink, and it's what they're always getting drunk off the new wine, these guys, in this Bible. As soon as they see the Lord, they put an altar to him, and they build themselves some kind of a vine or a vineyard, which is when you find God, what you do is the first thing you do is plant a vineyard, and this gives you this Kundalini situation, and it gives them a home, gives a place for the Lord. And this is where you always find them. So you find them like this is the Jacob's ladder. He just happens to be wrestling with himself and wrestling with something. He's wrestling with God. So well, if you've been a part of these series with me, you know that you're God. So he's wrestling with himself, which is the same way as David and Goliath. David is wrestling or fighting off something that's bigger than him, and he is the littler one. So it's this battle with our minds. This is the way the stories all work. So when they're finished with it, most of all of them are getting drunk because they get filled with the new wine. And even Revelations, we're being poured, the God's wrath, is just poured out over us, and it's copious amounts. And of course, people think that's just the most horrible thing on earth. But to be the spirit, wine, to pour out this wine. Wine is representing blood, and this is the spirit. It's beautiful. So yeah, baptism, you think baptism is the first part of this here. Yeah, baptism. So you go and get splashed with some water or get dunked or something like that, and now you're belong to Jesus. Well, maybe that's what you think from the outside, but on the inside is this idea of taking off your garments, so you can slip into this place because our skin ain't allowed in heaven. And when we go into meditation, we slip off over into this other side. We got to take our clothes off, got to take our garments off, and that's representing our skin. So when we slip out, that's what it means. You can't see that happening. This is spirit. So again, we got something that we do on the outside, this doesn't do you any good, but washes you. But that's the same thing as going inside. When you hear that someone's going in to wash their feet or something like that, or wash their hands, wash their feet, whatever. This is because they're walking on holy ground. God is spirit. Anytime you go up to see him, you have to also be in spirit. That's what that means, right? And how do you get there? Oh my goodness. Well, you got to do a whole lot of fasting and praying. going on. Praying. Got to do a lot of fasting and praying. Or you just will not get there. And that's also what it takes to get rid of the evil. When you have to get rid of evil in you, a lot of fasting and a lot of prayer. All right, so you think that you're going to stop eating, you're going to turn yourself into an emaciated thing on the outside, and you're going to be praying to Jesus. Where you at? Where you at? That's an outside approach. That's an outside approach. But did you know that means to stop feeding the mind, stop feeding the lower mind, cut yourself off from the lower mind? Let's get rid of those people for a little while. Let's shut up the men in the town. That's not feeding the lower mind. That's the type of fasting and that prayer. That's going inside. We're coming inside of us. We pray in silence, Or you could use the one what they learned about, the one about the chakra system is God did Jesus, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. That's your heart. Then to your stomach, give us this day our daily bread. And then we go to the next part, which is our sacred. Forgive us our trespasses. And do you know what adds to those trespasses we just learned? Is if you take on a strange wife. That strange wife, you want to know what strange wife is in the Bible? It's just strange. This is the idea that's religion. That's the only outsider that they talk about because, the other thing is, brethren and all that. Brethren is you, the body, you. You are this. You are the king. You are Pharaoh. You are all these guys. All right, but you're also Jesus. You house of God. You do all these things. It's just absolutely beautiful. So yes, when you learn how to read this Bible, that become a man of understanding or a person of understanding, because you can understand what you're talking about. And to know the Bible by the letter, it kills. You can see what it does to people, and that's the works, and you got to do that. The very same Bible that brings us this torment, all right, which is strife. And how do you relieve strife? Is by bringing the Kundalini business back to life, because that's how you get your salvation. That's how you get raised above all those things that you've been doing. And it makes a better person out of you. It just takes the lower and the higher into one place now. And you're cooking with God. All these stories of mine are going to end with this, because that's exactly all it is. All it is about connecting to the Lord. All right. We'll talk about sins next, All right. I'll chat with you soon. Well, maybe sins. We'll talk about something.